Hello. I am late to the live session, and I don't know if y'all can hear me or not. I thought I set this one for 10. Let me test it out on my computer. That is the best way for me to know if y'all can hear at this time. Ooh. There we go. This is the cheat code. We're going to prop it up against the laptop. Y'all, I'm sleepy. But before I keep talking, last time I changed the time or came late, it didn't work. So I'm like wondering if it's not going to work sound-wise. Hello, Des.
I had actually never built a website before, but Fiverr had.
I am late to the live. Oh, it's working. Okay, so it does work. All right. A little tardy to the party, but I am live now. Tune in or watch the replay and leave me comments below. All right. I honestly feel like my channel be like not promoting my content in a timely manner anymore. Are you okay? So like by the time people get the alerts, it'd be like a whole 2 hours later sometimes. I'll be like,
why is YouTube doing that with your stuff?
I don't know. I feel like sometimes it happens when you're not as consistent with posting on here. Like you start to lose algorithm traction, but that's just a theory. Hey Kwana, how are you?
Oh, you're live. Sorry.
Thank you. I got them done today. I did some self-care today. And I had to change my nose ring to this big flower that I'm getting used to. Sorry, I knocked it down. Because, yeah.
Did I make the wrong suggestion with the flowers? If so, my apologies.
No, I'm just not used to the size. It's big. Like it's big and noticeable. Like it's a flower, but from far away it just looks really big. And like the one I had before was so small that people didn't even realize my nose was pierced. Who's playing tonight, Quana? But yeah, I got them done. This color is called Bubble Bath. And I tried it for the first time like a few weeks ago with my French and the pink. But my pink was chipping. And I decided to go with a full, this was a new set. So I decided to go with the color because it's like Pacers versus the Knicks. Are you going for the Knicks? I was finna put this live on Facebook, but the people that I wanted to see it already saw it. So why do I need to put it on Facebook? I'm not gonna put it on Facebook. How are y'all doing? How are y'all doing? And thank you for joining me because I'm tardy to my own party. I was supposed to come at 9:45. I couldn't remember if I set the live for 9:45 or 10, but I remember that I set it for today because it's Thursday. Oh, yay. I'm glad your team is winning. That's exciting. I haven't been watching baseball a lot lately, but I have been watching. I haven't been watching basketball a lot lately, but I have been watching baseball. And I always root for the Braves, and the Braves hasn't been winning consistently. So
They won tonight.
They won tonight, though. See?
9-3.
I didn't watch today. Des did. Des says hi, guys.
What's up, y'all? They lost the first game 5-4. They won the second one 9-3.
Well, That's great. Because I didn't know. The last couple games I was watching with Dez, they didn't win, and it was really close, like 2-1, 3-1, 3-1, whatever it was. So glad that they won, and I hope they keep winning because I want to see them be competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And the Hawks, I think all they have on that team is Trae Young, and I don't really know basketball, so I can't even say with confidence. But Atlanta teams, and the Falcons, we want to see them do great, but they disappoint us on a consistent basis. So there's that. But on this live, I wanted to talk to y'all about my goals. And Dez is here, and now he's invited to be in the conversation because he's in the room, and I'm not saying that he has to get out.
Go take a shower.
Oh, he said he was gonna take a shower, so he'll be in and out of the room and available to kill any bugs that I saw yesterday that didn't die.
Sure.
There was a bug in here yesterday. We were gone. We went on vacation and we got back last night. And like this bug just popped up out of nowhere. And then I got scared and I woke Des up to kill the bug. And then the bug went away. And I haven't seen that bug again since yesterday. So like the fear in me is that this bug is hiding somewhere in this room. And that's what I need my lovely husband and bug killer friend to be around just in case he pops back out and crawls on the wall and scares me like he did yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I've named him. No, I haven't named him anything. I just want him dead. But we can talk about goals on this wall where this bug was yesterday. Just hope that the bug doesn't come over here while I'm trying to film. All right, so these are the goals that I set at the beginning of the month. Hey, you see, live stream. Oh, the time was there. I just didn't read it. It's okay because y'all are still here. I'm trying to hold it real still. Do. All right, and now I'm gonna flip it back over. Back to me. There I am. Okay, so I do feel like May has been a better month for goals than April was. I finally feel like I'm getting back into my fitness routine. I even worked out while I was on vacation. And I went to the gym today and I forgot to write it on there. So I need to do that. I did Zumba this morning. So every week, every full week this month, except for one, I made it to the gym or I did some sort of workout 3 times, which is good. Because I think my goal was 2 to 3 times a week. Water intake is not going very well for me. But I did hydrate a lot throughout the month as best as I could. I didn't really count the ounces, so saying I was going to try to do 80 ounces wasn't as helpful, but I do know that 80 ounces is about 5 bottles of water a day. And I would say I was getting at least 4 most days, not every day. What was my other goal for fitness? That was all I had. And also just trying to eat better. And I feel like I did that too. Especially towards the end of the month as we got closer to the trip. I started trying to eat at home more because it saved money, but also because it would save calories too. So it was kind of like a 2 for 1. As far as my faith-based goal was to go to church in person on Sunday when I was in town or stream church on Sunday when I wasn't. And I'll be honest with y'all, I did make it to church. I think we went 3 times this month in person. And then, or wait, was it 2 times? It was 2 times this month in person. And then hi, Madison. And hi, Lissa. And hi, Quana. If I didn't say hey, I thought I did, but then I kept talking. So I did make it to church twice this month. Des and I streamed a replay of a church service on one of the days when we traveled. And I'm still needing to watch the service from this past Sunday because we actually flew to Jamaica on that day. So I did not make it to church because our flight was too early. I did pull it up before bed in Jamaica to watch, and your girl fell asleep. So, all in all, I made it to church twice this month, and I streamed one service this month. So that's 4 Sundays in May, 3 out of 4. I did do my streaming and or attending in church, and I am still going to stream the message from last week because we've been visiting the same church, and I don't want to be confused if something that was started on Sunday is mentioned this coming Sunday. So I'm going to definitely tune in and see what the message was about from Sunday the 25th so that when I go on the 1st, I know what's going on. With that said, I'm feeling really good about that, like attending church again. And me and my husband, oh, I'm yawning because I'm tired. Me and my husband trying to continue to visit this church and fill it out and just kind of read the word more and grow more. I think prayer was something I did more consistently. If not every day, I try to do as often as possible. I remember praying on my own about things that I was worried about, and things did end up working out in my favor. Hi, Holly. I also pray, with my family, blessing food, praying for safe travel, mercies going to and from destinations, praying over my friends and my family. Coming into my birthday earlier this month, I definitely was praying over just how this year will go. And just, there were lots of moments where I spent time talking with God. So I definitely want to keep that going on. The Bible was where I fell short. I did not read the Bible on my own and do study time. Although it was opened and it was used when reflecting on the messages that I kept hearing over the sermons at church. Outside of that, I wasn't opening it. So that's still an area where I really need to be more intentional going into June. But overall, I'm still very proud of the progress and the growth with faith, with finding a potential church home, or at least a church to go to and visit regularly that really works for us. I'm feeling really good about that. I had a goal for, it says enjoy your birthday and your time off. My time off is still going on and it has been very enjoyable, as well as my vacation in Jamaica. It was amazing. It was the best family trip that we've had. And I can't wait. Hi, little gummy bear. I can't wait to film, or not film, but yeah, film the review. I'm going to do a very detailed review talking about the resort and everything that you need to know if you want to book the same exact like resort we used, airport transportation we used, what was good, bad, and ugly. Which it wasn't really no ugly. Like, it really was a good experience this time. And I'm grateful because if you've been watching me for a while or long enough to remember when I went to Jamaica the first time, we did not have a good experience on the resort. And this resort was really good. And so I can't wait to share that with y'all through a review. I'm currently working through over an hour of footage for the vlog. Ooh, I keep yawning and I'm sorry. Y'all let me know if who's ever on the live. Do you think I should break that hour of footage up into 2 vlogs and do it like a part 1 and part 2? Where part 1 will be our experience getting to the resort, the room tour, the check-in process, and that could be part 1, and then part 2 of the vlog could be days 3 and 4, where you get to kind of see us enjoying ourselves more and indulging in some of the amenities. Or should it just be one big 1 hour vlog and I put chapters in there so you know what's going on so you can skip around? I'm kind of leaning towards doing one long video instead of 2, but I mean, part 1 and part 2 is cool too. That way, if people are trying to, see, okay, so what is check-in looking like? What is this? Okay, y'all are saying 2 parts. Cool. All right, I can do 2 parts. I've already started editing and nothing has been saved. And on top of that, I'm also going to break up some of the smaller sections, like the room tour. Ooh, excuse me. The room tour will probably be uploaded first. It's gonna be a short, under 4 minute video just showing the room. So if somebody is looking at this resort, they want to book the same room I had. This is what the room looks like. That'll be uploaded first, and so I anticipate at least 3 videos. But if I do part one, part two, it'll be 4 videos. So it'll be the vlog part 1 and 2. Room tour will be its own short video, and then a detailed review that has me sitting down and talking about everything you need to know: food, drinks, cost, how far it is from the airport, how we got to the resort and back, um, the child care that was offered on the resort, like all of that will be in the review. But the vlog is just gonna be like us being there. You'll get to see us enjoying ourselves. And it'll be from us coming from Atlanta, getting to Jamaica, to the last drink that we had on the resort. So yeah, I say that to say we enjoyed ourselves. My birthday, I enjoyed my birthday this year. Me and my husband, we did a 24-hour trip, which I did not vlog, but I think I'm gonna do a sit down video talking about that too, because we are now starting to do more little short sprint trips together. We are going to Nashville again in June. We are going to New Orleans in July. We are doing the family reunion in August. We are looking for something to do in September. It hasn't been booked yet. Some ideas that we thought about were Fort Lauderdale, um, Charlotte, which was one of Dez's suggestions. I was open to going to Puerto Rico again for the weekend. I thought that would be fun. Hey, Emily. And I don't know. Hi, Nadia. I don't know this language that's in here, so I can't respond. But, just basically trying to do these little weekend short trips, 1 to 3 days max, no PTO needed, flying in after work, leaving before we have to go back to work type trips. Want to get away, last minute deals type, that's the goal. So, but for my birthday, we did one to Dallas, like the weekend before my birthday, which my birthday was right between Mother's Day this year. So it was on the Tuesday after Mother's Day. So the weekend before my birthday, we went to Dallas, came back on Mother's Day, had Mother's Day in Atlanta with my mother-in-law. Ooh, excuse me. And then on my actual birthday, I had the day off. So I ran a bunch of errands. I went to the gym. I got some stuff done. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Nadia. And then when I got done with those errands, me and my husband went on a date during the day while Josiah was at school. We had lunch together, and that was nice. And then that evening, Josiah had a baseball game. So that was my birthday. And then that weekend, I forgot what we did, but that Saturday I had some lunch with some friends. I had a lunch planned on Sunday, but I canceled it because Josiah's friend from baseball had a birthday party. Yes, I'm married. And so because he had a baseball friend having a birthday party, I canceled my dinner because I wanted him to be able to go to that. So we went to a pool party. And then Friday, I think we just chilled. It was pretty quiet. But it was still a good birthday. Honestly, coming into this birthday, I felt like I don't know. I just feel like things are changing in my friendships and relationships with other people. And I'm starting to really want to hone in on what's important to me and like my family. Putting myself first more. And showing up for people who constantly show up for me. And for those who don't, learning how to love and support and pray from a distance, but not pouring my all into one-sided relationships and friendships. Because at the end of the day, people don't care as much about you and your well-being as they care about their own. And sometimes I found myself trying to people please and putting myself last in moments where I should put myself or my needs first. And, you know, that those people showed me how they felt with their actions. And it's not even just about like showing up for my birthday or whatever. I'm not really talking about that specifically. I just mean in general. Um People do what's convenient for them. I need some water because I feel like my throat has a tickle in it. So I'm going to get some water. People do what's convenient for them. And so when I started to realize that I'm constantly inconveniencing myself to be there for others who won't do the same for me, it made me realize that I need to stop doing that and do what's best for me more often and not feel bad about it. And not be like, oh, if I don't show up for this person, they're going to be mad at me. Like, honestly, no is a complete sentence. Boundaries are okay. People inviting you to do things last minute or treating you as an afterthought does not mean you have to bend over backwards to try to be there, because you were not initially thought of when such thing was executed or whatever. And so I say that to say my birthday brought in a lot of reflection for me, and it was different. Like, the people who were there were not the same people who were there in previous years. Some of them were, but some people didn't make it. And some people didn't make it and they told me in advance. Some people didn't say nothing at all until the day of, or just didn't say nothing. And so, hey, Leisha, how you doing? So I say that to say, like, I still love those people. We still cool, but going into this new chapter, I also need to be more selfish too. Like, not trying to squeeze all these things into a day. I'm pretty good. I'm doing good, girl. How are you? Not trying to squeeze all these things into a weekend, or like knowing if I had a really long week and I really need to reset, being okay with saying, hey, I can't come out this time. I really need to recharge myself. I want to get back into my channel and my content creation. Real talk is definitely going to be back and be back more regularly as things are going on, whether in my life or just in the world. I feel like that's the type of content I really enjoy doing, and I feel like other people enjoy it too. Sleepy Policios. Policios. Hi. Um, and then Quana said, growth requires change, and sometimes you lose people you thought you would go with you on your growth journey. That's correct. And I also feel that as well. Like, sometimes when you start to elevate, everyone cannot go with you. And it's not that you don't want them to go with you, but sometimes people see what you had to do to get to where you are, and they're not willing to make that change. So they'd rather stay in their comfort zone with people who allow and enable their behaviors. You know, everybody knows somebody like this. They may have trouble keeping a job, or they may have been saying they want a different job and they're stuck. But then whenever you talk to them, their life is centered around them doing the same things and the same habits. They will not update their resume. They will not sacrifice drinking and smoking so that they can get ready for the next job, or they will stay in a job that they know that they don't really care for because they can continue to drink and smoke and have their weekends off, or will get off at whatever time that allows them to still keep up with the fun that they're used to, but then complain that things are not changing. And then they may know that you have started picking up another job, or maybe doing overtime, or doing something different to get to something else. And you finally get there, and then you no longer have interest in doing the things you may have done in a prior season of your life, because you realize it was holding you back, or it was setting you back, or it was keeping you stagnant. And sometimes people that you used to do those things with don't understand. They think you're acting different, or you're being funny, or when you start to set boundaries. Let's go there for a second. People get upset with you when you used to be the yes person, the people pleaser. Thank you so much, Kenzie. When you used to be the people pleaser, the person who never said no, the person that could always be counted on last minute, to come through with something, or even just support, whether through finances or ride or whatever, and you start setting boundaries and saying no, And you kind of start seeing, like, was this person really a friend to me, or was I a friend to them? You know, and I feel like in the video that I just did about friendships, I had like reflection questions, right? And oh, hey, Cooking Good, thanks for joining the live session. Oh, thanks, Lissa. Hey, Nico. I appreciate all these new people that are joining. But like, what I'm saying is basically this. I had some reflection questions about friendships, and it was questions you can ask of yourself, and it's also questions you can ask, like, when you think about how you've been a friend to other people. Sometimes you outgrow people, and it's a painless outgrowing. Like, y'all are just in different places in your life. There's nothing no one did. It's just y'all don't have stuff in common no more. And then sometimes it's not outgrowing. It's that this person might be going through something and they're silent because they're going through it. And if you were to pick up the phone and call them, they would tell you what was going on and you would realize it has nothing to do with you. Other times it's the stuff I said. You're going in one direction, they are staying where they are, and they're not willing to change to get there. And they don't want to necessarily get in your way or be convinced by you to get out of their own way to get to where you are. And so then you start to kind of drift apart. Y'all don't have nothing in common anymore. In the video, I kind of talked about this, but it's like, especially if a lot of your friend group stems from folks you knew in high school or college, as you become adults, i.e., we're in our 30s, right? You're going to start having less and less in common if y'all don't continue going in the same direction. When you start growing with God, when you start talking about going to church, when you start talking about prayer and reading the Bible, and you start getting away from the world, but the people you were hanging with aren't doing those things, there's going to be an awkwardness in the shift if they're not interested in that. There's going to be an awkwardness in the shift if you used to smoke and drink with people and then you get on your fitness regimen and now you saying I'm not smoking and drinking no more because drinking is making me gain weight, or maybe I only drink on this day of the week. So if you inviting me to come and drink and it's not the day of the week that I can drink, I can't really come and chill in a way that I used to with you without drinking, because it's going to sabotage the progress I'm trying to make. It's just, it depends. And I know I keep bringing up the drinking and smoking. That's not my example. I'm just giving an example. Sometimes when you're going through something, it just makes you go into a solitude because it's distracting to be worried about everyone else's. Maybe you're the friend that checks on everybody and something has finally happened to you and you don't have the capacity to check on other people because you're dealing with your own stuff. And then when you come back from it, you're okay again, but then you also realize that, hey, I'm so busy checking on others that others don't feel the need to check on me. And when I had to pick myself up, I had to do it by myself. So even that can make you want to distance yourself, because it's like, am I being a good friend to these people? Are these people being a good friend to me? Is it a reciprocal energy, or is it always me? And sometimes it's not always going to be an even playing field. Sometimes you are going to have to hold more weight in a friendship, but it shouldn't always be you are doing all the time and they never can do for you. They never can be a listening ear for you. They never can, you know, check on you. And it shouldn't come off as every time they reach out, they are, you know, asking for a favor, asking you to come and do something for them. Sorry, I knocked the phone down when I moved on the bed. And that's all I'm saying. Friendships change because convenience changes. Like having friends from high school, and then in high school, I carried over a handful of these friends, but none of us went to college together. So when I navigated college, I ended up meeting a whole new set of friends while still maintaining relationships with the ones I had in high school. So by the time I graduated college, I had a group of friends from college and a group of friends from high school. All of us still cool. When I got married, my bridal party was half college friends, half high school friends, and a line sister because I'm in a sorority. So I have 5 line sisters. There's 6 of us. So, but one of them was in my wedding because we were close. We're still close, but that's like at one point we were not as close anymore. We fine now, but I say all that to say that made up my bridal party. Yes, I have a child. I do. I have a 9-year-old, and I'm 32, and I'm married. So I say that to say, now when I got married, I was 24, 25. I was 25. And now I'm 32. So I've been married almost 7 years. So my point is this: the friends that I had at 25, we're still all cool, but our friendships are not the same as they were when I was in my 20s. They've changed in the last 3 to 5 years. Some of those friends, first of all, I was the first in the friend group to get married. So let's start that. Then after getting married, before I got married, I was the first in the friend group to have a child. I had a child before I got married with someone else. So I was the first in the friend group to have a child. The first in the friend group to, was I the first to graduate from college in the group? I think I was. The first to graduate from school, the first to get married. So I've been in a different season as some of my friends pretty much the whole time. And if you want to go even further, when I was in high school, my mom passed away at 16. So I've always been navigating different things than the people that I was friends with. But then there were some things that made me bond with some of my friends. So like a couple of my friends, their mothers passed away. My mom passed away at a young age. So that was something that bonded us together. Like, oh, we've all experienced the death of a parent. High schoolers, like I said, we all graduated together. We used to have classes together. We used to see each other every day. That convenience united us. Now, going to college, same difference. Out of my like college friend group, half of the girls and two that I'm still very close with today, we had the same major, which means we had the same classes. We had the same struggles in college. We partied together. We fought through hard tests together. Like, those were the girls who I made it through school with. Those were the girls who saw me go through trying to finish school while pregnant. All of that. Say that to say, getting out of school, now navigating adulthood is completely different. I'm the only one in my friend group in the field that I went to school for. One of my friends immediately got a job working as like a manager, and her career did this at a really young age, and she was pretty much doing better than all of us for quite some time. And then she embarked on like a serious relationship. She became a mom, and then she decided to take a break from the career because she was like, this is too much for me. Where I'm in my early mid 20s, I'm now a mom. This job is too much for me to handle with being a mother. And so, long story short, um, long story short, we began to have more in common once she embarked on motherhood. Although we did not stop um being close to one another with her job, there were times where our schedules didn't align, and it was just because we were in different places at different times. And then the high school friends, we still stayed in contact, but their opportunities looked a lot different than the opportunities that the friends that finished college had. Some of us started careers that were related to our fields. Some of us didn't. We had to figure it out. The ones that didn't go to college had to find roles that didn't require college degrees. So it put us in different schedules, but we still made time for one another when we could, whether it was birthdays or just having a good time. But as we got older, things changed. Most of us are either married or in serious relationships now. If you have a boyfriend, that takes up more time. You don't have the same time that you used to have to be sitting on the phone talking to your girlfriends or texting your girlfriends, going and doing stuff with them every weekend. Like, as a relationship progresses, you're going to spend more time with that person. And that then makes it to where, hold on. Um, that makes it to where um things change in the friend group. And that's kind of what I talked about in the friend video. So if y'all haven't seen it, go check it out. It's not to say that I'm not friends with anybody anymore. Like, I'm still friends with everyone that was there the day I got married, but the friendship levels have changed. And I saw a post, I think it was on Instagram or something, where somebody was basically saying, like, you know, as you get older, you put your friendships in compartments, and not everyone has the same level playing field, right? There's some friends you can talk deep with. There's some friends you can go and have a good time with. There's some friends that are multi-purpose. You can do everything with. And then there's some that really were just there to serve in a season when y'all no longer have anything in common. The conversations will fade and there really won't be anything to keep y'all going. The multi-purpose friend is going to be there for the long haul, the good, the bad, the ugly. Um, but the friend that is more so there for the season is the one who is only going to be around when it's convenient. When it's not convenient, they're not going to be there anymore. And that's the difference. And so I think, to go back to what I was talking about, this month made me really reflect on that and just basically trying to make sure that I'm putting my time in places and with people who reciprocate what I give. And it's not to say that I expect everyone to drop everything they're doing to be there for me, because that's unrealistic. But it is to say, like, if I'm reaching out, mental health check, how are you? And you cannot respond, but then I see you on social media posting memes, or it's just very clear that you are able to respond elsewhere. That lets me know that I don't need to keep pouring in so much to check up on if I can't even get a timely response. Because the same phones we use to browse social media and make posts and post pictures is the same phones we receive text messages on. And like I've said in the video, sometimes people do leave their phones in do not disturb mode. We have this like deliver silently. These iPhones do like deliver silent and all that now. So it is easy to miss messages if you have your phone in focus mode. But I say that to say, you're not always in focus mode. Sometimes you are ignoring people. And that's where I was saying in the reflection questions, like, are you the reason why the group chat is radio silent, Or is it just like, are you more of a one-on-one person? Sometimes also we hide behind group chats as well. And it's okay to individually check on your friends. Like if you have a friend group, it's okay to text people individually sometimes too, because some people just don't like the noise of a group chat. And you also have to keep in mind people's schedule. Like, depending on what kind of job you have, you may not have the type of flexibility during the day where you can be on your phone all day. Some people work jobs where they on the phone, like for their job all day. They can't have their phone out. So they're not ignoring you if you texting them while they at work and they're not responding. But, y'all got the same day off, check in individually, see how that person is doing, and go from there. That isn't an excuse. My phone is on D&D, and I reply to my friends when they reply. That's what I'm saying. People make time for what's important to them. And I'll leave it at that. And that's not even just about friendship. That's also about like someone saying they want to change something in their life, and then you come to them, 6 months later and they haven't made a change. People work on what's important to them. And sometimes if you don't know, you may make the error because you don't know. But when you know better, you do better. So it's like you saying you want to lose weight. Maybe you don't have a gym membership, but you can walk in your neighborhood. You could go walk at the park. You know, you could turn on a YouTube video. Hey, Gianna, thanks for stopping by. Um, you could turn on a YouTube video or look at TikTok and find some sort of home workout that you could do. You could cut back on eating fast foods or, making more meals. Like there's little things you could do to try to improve that. You know what I'm saying? But like it's easier to just complain sometimes and say you want this or want that, but you're not doing it. So like actions have to speak louder than words. And I think also some people are selfish. They're rooted in self. And if you don't do what they want you to do, then they feel like you're not a friend or you're their enemy all of a sudden. You got to teach people how to treat you. And I think, younger versions of me was definitely more people pleasing. And I still struggle with this and I'm working on it. Like, I don't want to hurt no one's feelings. I don't want anybody to be offended. I don't want to lose any friends. I don't want to lose any family. I don't want people to be mad at me. But then I end up mad at myself. And I have to start treating myself with more kindness and stop stretching myself so thin by enforcing boundaries. And that includes with family and friends. If you invite me last minute and it doesn't work, I'm not going. If you tell me about something and you want to include me, but you didn't really consider me and planning it, I'm not squeezing myself in no more. And it's hard for me to do that because I'm the one who will find a way to make it work. I will find a way to try to fix it. But it's like I'm not fixing stuff I didn't break. And I'm not going where I'm not invited. If I wasn't invited, if it's not inspiring, if I'm not being celebrated, I'm not forcing myself in any more situations or relationships. If it's all me when I'm going through these text threads, it's going to be nothing going forward because I can't do it anymore. Hurt their feelings because they won't think twice to hurt yours. Your boundaries are more important than their feelings. And that's the thing. Boundaries are so important. And I think, lack of boundaries for self as well as others is what has been my issue. Even with my fitness journey, like I've got to start setting boundaries. And I did a little bit of that this month with, knowing we were going to Jamaica. I was really strict on, okay, I'm not eating out this week. Like this week going beforehand, we're eating at home. We bought food. We gonna eat the food at home. We finna be gone. We don't need to be spending extra money. And so now like travel is something I want to do. So like a personal boundary I'm gonna be doing is like, okay, travel is an expense, but it's an expense that I want to embark on, right? So what is something that I don't need to necessarily spend money on that I can cut back on? And that's for me, it's like, okay, I can probably cut back on some of the food, the eating out. I can probably cut back on some of the groceries because sometimes we buy stuff and then don't end up eating it. It ends up getting thrown away. Honey, you are so right. Speak the truth. I had to let go of a lot of friends, mostly family, which is sad. I don't do negativity. We need to surround ourselves with positive folks. Stay back. Thanks, Marion. Or Marion, if I'm saying it wrong. I don't know. Marion Eddie. But yeah, like sometimes, and family is the worst ones. It's not even friends, because like most of us, if you have a family dynamic, you're gonna ask your family for help before you ask a friend, unless you just don't have a good family dynamic, which I know some people do not. I call on my dad a lot for things because I know I can count on him. I have a stepmom and we have a good relationship. And sometimes I may ask her for a favor when it comes to Josiah, but I don't really ask her or my stepsisters and stuff for things. It's not because like we don't have a good relationship, but I just, I've never been in a situation where they've shown me I can depend on them. I won't say that they've shown me that I can't depend on them, but that's just not our dynamic. They don't ask me for favors. They don't call me asking for favors. I don't call them asking for favors, right? When it comes to showing up for each other, the effort on both sides, both with me and with them, appears to be we show up when we can. If it works for our schedule, we'll show up. If it doesn't, we don't. Some sisters communicate. I have three. Some of them communicate and say, I cannot make it. Some of them won't say nothing at all. It'll be a surprise if they show up. Sometimes they don't. When it came to my wedding, 2 out of 3 showed up. When it came to my 30th birthday, 1 out of 3 showed up. And then my stepmom was there and my aunt was there, her sister. Special moments, I tried to be there. Like this one of the sisters that didn't show up for my 30th, I showed up for her 30th. But then like later that year or the next year, she was pregnant. We showed up to her baby shower. When it came to my baby shower, the same sister, this the oldest stepsister, she shows up for everything. She was there, My stepmom was there, the other two were not. So I'm just saying, so like for me, it's the effort with those relatives is if it works for my schedule and you tell me in advance, I will show up. If it does not work for my schedule and you do not tell me in advance, I will not show up. And it's the tell me in advance part too, because sometimes that side can be a little last minute. Like Mother's Day weekend, for example. We were supposed to have a Mother's Day brunch. They had it. It was on a Saturday. Initially, it was going to be on Sunday, which was Mother's Day at 3:30. Well, as I told you guys, my husband and I went to Dallas. And so we had planned to leave Saturday evening, which means we had to be at the airport around 2 o'clock on that Saturday and come back Sunday and get back in town about 12 o'clock. So when the brunch was going to be at my stepmother's house on Sunday, we were going to go. But then my middle stepsister decided to change it and put it on Saturday, probably to accommodate plans that she had, which is fine. But guess what? We didn't come because it did not work and it was a last minute change. So I say that to say, that's what I mean. In previous seasons, I might have been trying to cancel my trip, move my stuff around to accommodate other people. But there's now a part of me that's like, I'm going to do what works for me and my household. Not because I don't love y'all, but because you have shown me that my milestones were not a priority. So your events are not going to be a priority for me either unless it works for me mutually. If I don't got nothing to do and I'm invited, sure. But if I have something to do, I'm not moving my stuff around to accommodate a last minute plan. That's a specific example. And there's no hurt feelings or lost love on either side. It's like, and I told my stepmother, it's like I would have come, but my husband and I had already planned something. And when y'all moved the date, it didn't work. So it's not that we didn't want to be there. Because on Memorial Day weekend, they had a barbecue that Saturday. We left for Jamaica Sunday. If the barbecue would have moved, we wouldn't have been at that either. But since it was the day before, we was there. So it's the same thing. But I'm starting to get there with more groups. Like my husband's brother and his wife, they do that a lot too. Last minute invites. And like I've started saying no. It actually started really earlier this year. I think it was the Super Bowl. We were invited last minute. My husband went, I didn't. I was like, no, I'm gonna watch the Super Bowl here because that's what we plan to do. Like, stop inviting me places last minute. I feel like people don't really understand. So there's two types of people. So some people don't have kids and they don't understand. If you don't have kids, you don't understand that a last minute invite doesn't always work for people who have a child or who have kids. Hi, Picajo. And hi, Nevada fan. How are you? And then there's people who are just last minute people. Like my family, my stepmom and them, all of them have kids, but sometimes they're just last minute, you know? And so when it comes to those two different kind of people, I've become a planner. So don't invite me somewhere last minute and think I'm always going to go. It's not to say you can't invite me at all. Like, yeah, you can let me know. But if you really want me to come with you, exactly. I am saying I don't want to be an afterthought. If you really want me there, don't treat me like an afterthought. And I don't mean this right here, right? We talk and we have constant communication. You have my phone number or we chat on Instagram or whatever. We hang out, right? And we've been talking all week and you say, girl, I know this is last minute, but if you're not doing anything tonight, you want to go grab a drink at a mutual place at this time and you give me a couple hours before? That's not what I mean. I literally mean this right here. You planning an event, i.e. Super Bowl example. You've invited other people and you've given them at least 3 to 5 days in advance or even a week in advance because you knew you were hosting for the Super Bowl at your house. But then you tell us at 12 o'clock the day of the Super Bowl, oh yeah, we doing this if you want to come over. I don't want to be invited like that. I do not want to be invited like that because it's last minute and it means you had already thought of the people you wanted to really be there and you gave them a heads up. But then you're telling me like, oh yeah, you can come if you want to. Like, you don't care if I come or not. and it may not be a big deal to you, but that's what I mean by like the last minute people versus the people without kids. Like people without kids, sometimes when it comes to like the holidays and the events, they're not planning to do anything. So being invited somewhere last minute is great news for them. They're wanting to know where the barbecue is at. But folks who have kids or pets or both, like I do, it's not always easy to be told something last minute because it's like, okay, now I got to make sure my dog is fed by this time. And I got to make sure, is this a child friendly place? Or if it's not, who going to watch Josiah? You know, it's a lot. And so that, I think that also goes into the friendship thing too. Half of my friends have kids, half of us don't. For those of us who have children, we kind of understand like last minute plans only work when we're child free. Sometimes you become child free and it's unexpected. That's happened to me several times where my husband's mom will be like, oh yeah, just I can just stay tonight. And we didn't have time to plan nothing because we didn't know. You know, we weren't expecting her to say he could spend the night. Or like, you know, my dad might offer something like that. And so then we don't have nothing but like, you know, literally 12 hours. It is like, oh, you want to go do something? And we don't even know what to do at the time because we weren't expecting to have time. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, when it comes to like using PTO, using vacation, using my weekend time, using my, hey, babe, can you watch Saya for a few hours so I can go? I want to know that in advance. Don't invite me as an afterthought. And I try not to afterthought the folks that I talk to. So it's like, when people do that, it makes me lose like interest in continuing to plan things with those people because it makes me feel like you don't respect my time. And they might not view it that way because they don't have the same dynamics that I do. But also just like, even if you don't have kids, you just have a life outside of your friendships. So like, your time off is your time off. Maybe you have errands. Maybe you have to go and get things done. Maybe you are dealing with a sick parent or some sort of situation that's keeping you from, you know, being available all the time. Maybe your money is tight. Oop, I keep dropping my phone. When money is tight, we need to know things. We need to know things in advance so we can plan accordingly, right? I like to know stuff really in advance, honestly, because I be trying to plan around a pay period. If it ain't the pay period, I don't be wanting to go last minute. Because like the money might not be there. You think the last people who would hurt you are those in your own household. I had to pray and give it to God and leave it there. My children, husband, parent, God first. He's all I need. I know that's right. But Quana hit that nail on the head earlier when she said you were invited last minute because you're an afterthought. My husband and I talk about that a lot. It wasn't, you get invited in the way that you were considered. That's the way I think of it. It's like if you're planning a dinner party and you initially think to invite 6 people, and then you make the reservation for 6 people, and maybe you had to put a deposit down of $50 to hold that spot at that nice restaurant. And then you send the invites out, and you know, 4 of 6 people confirm yes, and 2 say no. And now you're desperately looking for 2 people to fill those seats of those for that seat of that table of 6 because the people you really wanted to be there couldn't come, and now you send me and Des a text saying, can we come? This is just an example. This did not happen. But that's how it comes off when somebody invites me somewhere that requires proper planning at the last minute. I'm not talking about something simple like, let's just meet up and grab some drinks at such and such for happy hour. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like if you're throwing something at your house, if it's some sort of party, your birthday party, your barbecue, like don't invite me through someone else either. Like I had that happen as well. I think that was last year. Invite me directly to your event. Do not invite me as an afterthought. Do not invite me because somebody else didn't come and you want to fill a spot. Like, I don't want to be the person who's filling a spot. I feel like you always have to be considerate on both sides. And yes, afterthought is kind of rude. I want to be thought of in the first round. Hi, Penguin65 from the Philippines. How cool. You found me. I'm in Georgia, United States. But yeah, I'm drinking water because I'm like, my throat is feeling dry. Dry, dry, dry. But yeah, so I don't know how we got on being afterthoughts and things, but that's why I'm saying in this, like, going into this year, I just don't want to. Oh wow, you're in London. That's cool. I don't want to, I don't want to continue to put people on a pedestal that often don't prioritize me. That's all I'm saying. I don't care who it is, family, friends, work related things. Like, you have to show people how to treat you. And I think I spend a lot of time over explaining myself. And that's something I'm going to try to work on. Not over explaining, not apologizing when I didn't do anything. Like, my intent is never to hurt anyone's feelings. But I think I've spared people with the truth a couple of times too. And I think, trying to make the peace, keep the peace, sparing people with the truth. After my birthday, though, I was like, I ain't sparing nothing. Don't come over here trying to have small talk with me when you could have said something. Specifically, like, and I'm not talking about anybody who told me way in advance they were not coming. I'm talking about folks who said they were coming and did not. Or they told me like the day of that they were not, after like it was too late to update the people at the restaurant. Now, luckily, the people at the restaurant were very, very cool and casual about it. They did not care. And it was great. But I like the place I went last year, that would have been a problem because I actually prepaid for um like this year we just had like a lunch. But the previous year I went to a place where we were playing a game and I actually prepaid for the people to come. And so when someone didn't show up, it actually worked out because an extra person showed up and it worked. But if I would have paid for the spots, because some restaurants do require you to prepay a deposit based on your party size. If I would have did that this year, I would have been a little mad because I had a lot of last minute people canceling on me. But I still had an amazing time. And it made me realize, and again, I'm only talking about folks who canceled last minute. I'm not talking about people who I invited and they immediately told me, hey, my nephew's graduating, can't come. Hey, I have this. It's like, I also understand my birthday is near Mother's Day. It's in graduation season. It's always been that. I've ever since I've been in high school, like that's always been my birthday weekend. Sometimes my birthday is on Mother's Day. So imagine that particular weekend. It's difficult to plan events with friends because unless your friends also have a deceased mom too, like I do, they often want to do stuff with their mom or their grandma or their aunt, and I get it. I'm also a mom. So now, like, if my birthday is on Mother's Day, I'm celebrating Mother's Day too. So I got to consider that. Even with the Dallas trip, that's part of why it was so short. It wasn't just because we only wanted to spend less than 24 hours. It was because, well, I'm a mom. I don't want to not see my child on Mother's Day. So I get all of that. All I'm saying is just have consideration, don't, if somebody is inviting you to something, whether it's a wedding, a birthday party, a baby shower, a gathering of things, give a clear answer. You kind of know if you gonna come or not. If something comes up last minute, it's emergency, that's fine. But like the lack of response or responding and saying you're gonna come and then not showing up at all is very rude. Because it's so easy to send a text and just say I can't. You say you can't come, no problem. Don't be mean, just be truthful. And if they get triggered, it's their own traumas coming to the light. Sometimes restaurants cancel the whole reservation if people don't show up. They do. Or they do this. Like they might say, let's say you have a party, which is why I really like doing lunches with like less than 5 people anyway. It's just an easier experience if you ask me. But some restaurants will say if your whole party is not present within 15 minutes of the time, they cancel the reservation. They treat your group as a walk-in. or they'll only seat who's there, and you'll lose the seats for the people who are late. That's why I said the place where I had the lunch was very, very flexible. Not only did they not do that, but they let us seat early because half of us got there early. But then they just left our table big just in case people ended up showing up. But we ended up about what, 4 people short, 4 or 5 people short of who had RSVP'd. But it didn't matter because we ended up having a great time with who was there. But I just I won't be overextending this year. That's all I'm saying. And I might have to use Dez as an accountability partner to be like, Yosha, remember when you said you weren't gonna overextend? I feel like you're doing too much. And he over there smiling like you ain't gonna listen. Quana said, remember, if they wanted to, they would. Exactly. And that's the thing. I've got to stop wanting to because I think people know that Yosha's gonna do it. And I think I was even told that professionally, like, Yosha, you do too much. And not hi Slay Queen, not in a mean way, but just like basically I'm the type of person who if something needs to be done, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna hop in and try to get it done instead of letting somebody else do it. And I think that's a problem. It's a great problem to have, but it's not at the same time because people who are takers will know that about you and gravitate towards you because they know that you will solve the problem, including the problems they create. So it's like, you got to stop volunteering all the time. Stop raising your hand first all the time. Because some people take that for granted. You have a friend that's conveniently leaving their wallet every time, and you the one raising your hand like, it's okay, I'll cover it. Sis ain't leaving that damn wallet. She know you gonna cover her drink, so she gonna tell you a hard luck story so that she don't gotta pay for her stuff. You see that same friend going out with somebody else, and they conveniently have their wallet on that day. So, things like that. Don't let people take you for granted and take advantage of you. you know. And then just, mental note, I'm going to try to work a little harder to support the people who have supported me, whether it is just through text messages and deep conversations. Those mean a lot to me too. Being able to just have conversations with people who understand, including these live streams. People who show, like, that's another thing. I'm a whole content creator, and respectfully, the people that I know don't support me. Like, the people that I actually talk to and I can call up on the phone and hang out with regularly don't support me the way that some of y'all do every time I go live. When it comes to like sharing my channel, telling people about it, I might have one friend, maybe two, that do that currently. It's not to say they've never done it, but in the current state, no, they don't really support. It's strangers who've become friends. So I say that to say, like, all of that is very eye-opening because at least I try to be. If my friend is doing something, I'm trying to shout them out. I'm telling them. It's folks I went to school with that I haven't seen since I graduated. One girl, I went to school with her. She started her channel. I shouted her out. I told people to go follow her and all that. And I'm not saying it because I expect her to do it for me, but what I'm saying is I'm the type of person who roots for everybody. I'm going to share the strangers' post. I'm going to share my friends' post. I'm going to share my husband's post. Like, that's just who I am. Like, I root for everyone. At work, I'm the same way. People joke, but they're serious and they say, like, I'm the cheerleader at work because when somebody is being celebrated, I'm the first to say congratulations. I'm the first to say good job, well done. Because I feel like it, like Liz is saying right here, it literally costs zero to support somebody. It literally costs you nothing to pay somebody a compliment or to be kind. Kindness is not a strain on anybody. So it's just, I don't know. It's just weird. It's weirdo behavior when you don't get that back in return from people that claim to be, your friend, love you, this and this and that. You know, you see family members supporting other family members, but don't support you. It's very interesting. Yeah. I'm gonna just leave it at that. People pleasers are people pleasers because they didn't have people in their corner when they were growing up, so they run to please people because of that. Let me think about that. People pleasers are people who didn't have people in their corner when they were growing up, so they run to people please because of that. In some ways, I can resonate with that a little bit. Like, I would say my mom was a cheerleader when it came to academics and stuff like that, but at times I do feel like I didn't have her support. And then my dad has always been supportive, but there was a time where him and my mom had their issues and he ended up leaving, and I felt very alone in that season. Um Hi Neutral and hello Firestone. And so when I dealt with that, I felt like I was trying to find my way in other people. Like find my way as an individual, but find my way in building friendships and or relationships with other people. And I honestly ended up meeting a lot of my friends during those times because let's see, my mom and my dad separated in middle school, but I met a lot of my friends that I'm still friends with today, like ninth, 10th, 11th grade year. Most of them ninth and 10th grade. And then when my mom died, like my core group of best friends were those same people. And then when I graduated, I kept in contact with most of those girls. Met some new girls, probably like my freshman and sophomore year of college, and kind of stuck with those friends until I graduated. I met one of my friends that I'm best friends with now. I think I was either a junior or a senior, but she was a mutual friend of one of my other friends, and we became friends because we had the same major and we had this film class together where we had to edit videos, which was one of my favorite classes. And yeah, so I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah. I think, yeah, I could definitely see the people pleasing, like, or just wanting to control something and hey, go positive when stuff wasn't going positive personally. I wonder what things would have been like if I would have done therapy at a younger age. Like, instead of waiting until I was married to start therapy, or like, yeah, if I would have done therapy after losing my mom, or like before going to college, what that would have been like and what it could have done for me. Hello, Went Hive. But yeah, overall, May was a good month. I know it don't sound like it because we talking about friendships and stuff, but that's just because of like me promoting that video. I'm pretty good. How are you? I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting sleepy. I'm glad you're doing good. I show up for you because I see the genuineness you have in your heart. Oh, thank you, Kwana. I appreciate that. And like I said, it's no hard feelings for any of my friends. I just feel like the connections are a little different depending on who. And I feel like I just gotta prioritize where I feel prioritized. I gotta show up where it feels correct in this current season and not based off of history. Because it's easy to be like, oh, we used to be this or to do that, but you kind of have to go based on facts. And that's the part that can be tricky at times because sometimes we confuse length of time knowing people with them being good for us. That's even with relationships too. Going into June, I want to lock in more with my fitness journey and also church and being consistent there. My husband and I made a decision to reduce our travel from 2 trips to one. So I'm really glad about that because June we will be celebrating my son's birthday, Father's Day. My mother-in-law turned 60. And then also we have our trip to Nashville. So we're gonna try to do something special for my mother-in-law to celebrate. Our plans kind of shifted a little bit with how we were celebrating with her, but I think it was for the best. And then I think that you know, um it'll be good to, I don't know. I'll be honest, y'all. This school year was kind of tough for Josiah. I'm really trying to find something that is productive for him to do on top of the summer camp that I found to kind of help him not regress over the next 7, 8-ish weeks of summer. Our children go back to school at the end of July. This is the earliest they've ever had to go back to school. But they also got out of school like before Memorial Day. So with that said, I just feel like if we're not on the go moving every other weekend this summer, it might help me spend more time. And as a matter of fact, tomorrow I probably need to take him to go get a book because I want him to try to read one book for each month of the break. So just 2 books. 2 books this summer. Girl, yes, they go back on the 31st this year. It's crazy. It's so early. Oh wow, I need to look into that. I heard that the one near us was discontinuing their partnership with Zoo Atlanta. Apparently they used to give out free passes to the Atlanta Zoo, and they've been doing it for over a decade, and they're actually ending the program after this year. While I'm waiting on chats to come in, I'm like multitasking and taking surveys. I still be using paid Viewpoint. Let's see. Yes, they did. Oh my gosh, really? We took advantage of that perk. Yeah, they got rid of it. I saw earlier this month they were saying that it ends on June 1st, I believe. Let me Google it real quick. Atlanta Zoo ends partnership. Yep, it says, I forgot I can turn the camera, I can show you. The Zoo Atlanta Library Pass Program, a partnership with the Georgia Public Library Service, is ending on June 1st, 2025. The last day to check out passes at participating libraries is May 31st. Zoo Atlanta will honor any previously checked out passes and vouchers through a grace period that will end on June 30th. So, yeah, that's one program. But I honestly want Sai to do some sort of reading program. He's pretty proficient in math, but I think reading is where he's been struggling. So I don't know if it's a tutor or a camp, but I feel like he needs something like to keep his brain sharp, because he did pass and make it to 5th grade, and I don't want it to feel like a big struggle for him, because when he came into 4th, he wasn't one level. And so he made a lot of progress in the 4th grade, but I think that, you know, it's only going to get tougher. And what I don't want is, I hate to say it, but public school systems kind of pass the kids along. They care about the test scores and getting them to pass the test. And yeah, he passed the test, but like, he's still not where he needs to be, which puts him behind. So then when he goes to the next grade level, he's not on the level where he's supposed to be. So it's going to be harder for him than it is for other kids. And I feel like that's a major concern of mine. So, like, in the midst of all the fun and the travel that we're doing, that's great. But just trying to find ways to also be mindful of giving him that time to practice with reading and things like that, too. Which I know is not fun. When they get out of school, they want to go to the, pool and play outside. And I want him to do that too. I want this summer to just be a mix of fun moments and learning and getting outside and touching some grass. Being outside physically and doing new things, walking. And I think with my dogs, that definitely is going to happen more. But like going to festivals and going and experiencing new things like comedy shows, art exhibits, exposing Josiah to some cool things. Like this weekend, I wouldn't mind doing something new with him. Like, I still haven't taken him to the Hawaiian Chick-fil-A. I want to do that. The World of Coca-Cola, he hasn't been there. And it's so funny because, like, I was pregnant with him when I used to work there. And it was one of my favorite jobs I had in college. And it paid the best. Way better than working in the airport or at Chick-fil-A. They paid pretty well. And it was just such a fun job. But, like, taking them to the aquarium, like, educational, fun things. Excuse me. Maybe see if they have a tutoring program for the summer. It might be a discount, and it may be once a week. It wouldn't be so bad. Yeah, I'm going to look into that. I like that idea. I think once a week would be perfect. Maybe do it, like, on Thursdays or something. Before the weekend. It's like, you got to do this before you go have fun on the weekend. Like, if we do it like that, then he'll take it seriously and be like, oh, my mom said I don't get to go play outside if I don't take it seriously. And I'll be honest, I think in those earlier years of his life, he was playing around a lot, and he didn't take, I would say, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade seriously in some seasons. And so when he didn't take it seriously, he missed a lot of the fundamentals that came along with reading. And I think he always preferred math and science and even social studies. How did this green screen cut on? Turn this off. What did I do? Oh, I don't want no picture. Okay, there it is, y'all. I done pressed a button and it was putting a green screen. I'm like, I ain't trying to make no green screen. I was trying to check something, and it, you can tell when somebody multitasking because it's like, oh. But, oh, I remember I had logged in I was trying to see if Great Wolf Lodge was giving a cashback offer still, because if so, I was considering going there for a day. Not to spend the night, but to use that water park and just seeing if they had any passes available for this weekend. So another tip for being frugal, but trying to, like, get out and do more fun things is if you have a checking account with one of the major card places like Wells Fargo, Truist, Bank of America, BBT. Well, BBT is Truist now, isn't it? But like any of those, or even your credit union, see if they have cashback offers for fun places and clip the code so you can get your cash back when you spend there and use that to do fun stuff. Like right now, mine has Kroger Fuel on here, Jersey Mike's, which I like their subs. The Children's Place is on there. I've often in the past years gotten stuff for Josiah in that store. Not recently, but in the past I used to. I feel like he's kind of outgrowing that store, and I gotta shop for him at stores like Old Navy and Ross when looking online. But for children under like 8, the Children's Place is great, and for little girls. Annie's is on here. That's the pretzel place. Baskin Robbins ice cream, Ulta Beauty for my makeup girlies and skincare girlies. There's quite a few Marriott hotels on here, which is great for these little weekend 1-day trips. I am gonna start booking based on what's in my cashback. So like Marriott has become my go-to brand. The resort we stayed at in Jamaica was actually a Marriott brand as well. And honestly, I don't see myself going back to like Hilton or Holiday Inn no time soon unless the price is pricing, because Marriott has been having good customer service and great pricing. Even if it's not Marriott, maybe it's Fairfield Inn, or maybe it's Royalton, or maybe it's Residence Inn, or the Element. I stayed at an Element hotel in Dallas, but it was all nice. And they're all Marriott properties. Um, but yeah, my point was, y'all, like Legoland is in here in Florida. So it's like, okay, if I want to do a trip to Florida one weekend, I could possibly get the Legoland tickets and get 10% cash back. Great Wolf Lodge is on here, and it doesn't run out until the end of June. I was looking for something to do for Josiah's birthday anyway, so I'm kind of like, let's read the fine print and see what they're saying on here as far as like, does it have to be a stay? And it's just saying, let's see. Okay, they do want me to stay. Earn 5% on a Great Wolf Lodge stay with a $24 cashback minimum when you spend 100 or more. So this is for a stay, which means I'd have to do a night there, which I don't know if we want to do. Like after we did it the first time, we were like, we could just come and use the water park and go home the same day. But if we were to do it, for another break, because the kids get a break every 6 weeks, um, that wouldn't be bad. I might do it. Let me see. Could do it for Josiah's birthday, and maybe do. I'm just looking and seeing what they got. Oh, they got 48% off right now. They'd be lying because this stuff be costing the same price. I'm tired, y'all. Alrighty, well, I don't know. Does anybody else have anything they want to talk about? Otherwise, I'm about to hop off because I'm getting sleepy. Did you watch the Streamer University thing Kai and I put on? Nope, I did not. What was it about? I do know who he is, so That's a start. I'll be honest, I don't really watch Kai's live streams. I feel like he's on Twitch too, and I don't be on Twitch, so that might be part of why. They want me to do 2 days so bad. I'm like, no. I cannot believe it's that expensive for one night at this place. I'm like, goodness. He put big streamers and little streamers on a college campus to network and learn stuff and get a college feel for like 4 days. That sounds cool. I heard that Morris Brown College actually has a Morris Brown College has a career path or a degree rather that is like for folks who want to be like content creators, basically streaming and doing content. Like, what is it called? Morris Brown College Content Creator Program. Let me see. Content creation and entrepreneurship. They have an entrepreneurship certificate and they have an esports performance for the gaming industry. And it was something about like Twitch I thought I saw. But yeah. He put big, oh, I saw that part. He took it to Akron University, and most of them are average. Wow. My nose is running. I need to get some tissue. Most of them weren't even streamers like that either. I would like to start going to more events for content creators and YouTubers, Yelp writers, things like that. TripAdvisor writers, because I feel like that would be a good networking opportunity for me. YouTube puts on events sometimes, and they don't always come to Atlanta. But when they do, I feel like it would be cool to be able to network with other content creators in the area. Apparently, there was one a couple weeks ago, and I definitely missed it. Didn't even know nothing about it. And then I just started seeing people talking about it online and was like, dang, that looked like a really cool opportunity. But I also feel like whatever is meant for us does not miss us. So if it missed me this time, it was probably for the best. And I also think sometimes those events that YouTube puts on, at least the ones I hear about, are always at times that don't work for my schedule. It's harder for smaller YouTubers, which I know some of y'all be like, you're not a small YouTuber, you got 20,000 followers. But it's hard for small YouTubers or part-time YouTubers who don't do YouTube full-time. I need some tissue or a napkin. It's hard for us because we work full-time jobs. And because we work full-time jobs, we can't always pick up and go whenever they invite us to do certain stuff. Sometimes the events are in the evening on a weeknight, or it might be in the middle of the day. Like they're doing a conference, for example, and the conference is from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock on a Wednesday. And like if you work a 9 to 5, you can't go unless you take off work. And sometimes they'll tell you about the event a week before or 2 weeks before and give you the opportunity to register. Excuse me. And then you gotta wait to hear if you were approved to go to the event because it's limited seats. So it's like you want to go, but you may not be selected because you're competing with other content creators who are larger than you that have, let's say, 50,000 followers or 100,000 followers or 200,000 followers. And they do it full time so they can have the flexibility to plan to go. So, and it's that much harder also if you're a parent too, because it's like maybe you could go, but then it's like you don't get a +1 and it's not a kid-friendly event. So now you got to make arrangements. Or you just work and you can't get off, not with that last-minute notice. So it's like I don't know. I feel like I got to start pouring more into stuff like that, though. Not the missed opportunities, but just like getting myself out there more. Even with Yelp, like I feel like that's something I could have been doing better, being that I'm like part of the Yelp community. I could have been doing more of the events that Yelp puts on. They're free. They do stuff every month. And like I just wasn't going. And to the point where one of my best friends, she does Yelp reviews now too. I think I'm the one who put her onto it. And she's been to more events than I have because like she started doing them. She was like, "Girl, you should go. We should go together." Sorry to be like in my nose, but I like feel it leaking. And I was like, I'm gonna start back doing it again, but the grind can be hard because you'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna do this," and then you just don't. So I feel like if you were an active vlogger who doesn't like the idea of editing your videos, you could do Twitch in real life and let people see your day. Oh wow, they're doing a club Pilates. Hmm. Hmm. That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at stuff and I'm like, I didn't even know this was on here. It looks like you could come. Yelp has a nothing but cakes offering at the Buckhead location. But I'm like, when am I gonna be in Buckhead though? It's inconvenient. Like, what's going on outside of Atlanta? I feel like if it's like when I think of Twitch, I think of folks who are like sitting at home on their like in a gaming channel. I don't even play games or anything like that, but I do think it's cool. Like, ooh, they have a Douglasville. Didn't know that. That is so cool. to get paid for people watching you go live. They sub for no ads, and it's more lenient with music you can talk about. So I need to look in and get making a Twitch according to that. That sounds kind of cool. Because YouTube don't be playing about music, boy. I be like, man, you gotta be extra careful. The only time they don't really care as much is with YouTube Shorts. And YouTube Shorts can make you money. Like, I feel like YouTube Shorts honestly have helped me grow a lot, especially because I've slowed down with long videos. That was my other goal, I think. I didn't talk about it, but I was supposed to be uploading a video every week and getting caught up on editing. I did actually catch up on editing this month. I finally edited the lock tutorial video, so that'll be dropping in June. And then I did some filming. So I gotta get back into filming my real talk videos bi-weekly at least, but I feel good about that. And then like with Jamaica, like I said, I got at least 4 videos if we do part 1, part 2, room tour review. So I gotta film the review for that experience, which was really good. I'm already telling y'all it was good, but I'm gonna be really specific like I was when I did my previous reviews, because those have really done well. So honestly, I didn't find a lot of information that I'm going to be sharing when I was researching. So I know that people could use this information, especially folks who are looking to travel as a family or as a single mom who can take their kids, because there's literally no information out there about the resort I was at and what to do with the kids and stuff like that. And that's the stuff I wanted to know. Like, I wanted to know, what does the resort have that makes this kid friendly? Because a lot of hotels and resorts will say kids welcome, and all they do to make kids feel welcome is give them a pool with a slide. You know what I'm saying? And there's a difference between a pool and a slide and a lazy river or a designated kids outdoor playground and them actually having a camp within the resort where they can go and chill. Just like we have the swim up bar, they have a kids corner where they can go and be kids and have a good time with supervision and not be feeling like, you know, they in the middle of the adults party running around like they do at home. So I say that to say I think it's a really cool opportunity. Um Yeah, there ain't really nothing going on here. I don't even know why they list this on here. And it's not even really nothing. Hmm. You use an old phone, a mic, a tripod. Record your live and go live with you in the grocery store events and just hang out with you at recording and editing. That might be what my Zumba instructor be doing, because I tell you, every time she teaches, y'all, I found the suspect that's on the wall over there. Let me see. I bet Dez ain't gonna want to kill it because he didn't want to kill it yesterday. I've been wondering where this bug has been all day. He was over here. Not over there. I done showed the wrong part. He was over there. Like yesterday. Now he done traveled over there. And Dad's asleep. This is what happened yesterday. Once he gets sleepy, he ain't gonna wake up. So I'm gonna be stuck in here staring at the bug, hoping it goes away. And it's not. I think I'm gonna go sleep in the living room with my dogs. Because I can't. I barely got any sleep last night because I was like paranoid. Like, whoo. Okay, Quana. Um, I appreciate you telling me about Twitch because I didn't really understand what it was. And I'm like, is it like TikTok Live? What do you do? But I feel like my Zumba instructor be doing that because she literally records every single class on a little phone tripod and she dances and she don't even be talking. She just get on there and she'll wave and then she'll teach the whole time with that going. And if that's the case, I could probably do more live streaming. I honestly wouldn't mind doing more live streaming here, but I'd just be taking y'all while I do some regular things like working out, maybe like grocery shopping or running errands on the weekends. Come on, do this type of conversation. Keep doing what we do twice a month. But I get what you're saying. You're basically saying I could do what I'm doing right now, but just record it on an older phone so I have it going on that and this at the same time. That's kind of smart. Kill two birds with one stone. But I'm about to get off because I'm uncomfortable because I keep looking to my left and I'm seeing this bug over here. I'm going to try to wake up my husband and make him kill it. Because I did not sleep yesterday. For real. I fell asleep and I woke up like on a swivel. And I ain't going to be able to sleep knowing that thing is over there. And I'm going to try not to startle it because I was like, ah! It immediately ran and hid. So I'm going to try to be quiet this time so that I don't scare it and it can die. A painful death because, yeah. But I really appreciate y'all talking to me and, sharing your thoughts. If you're watching a replay, thank you. I appreciate you too. I wish y'all a wonderful rest of May. We still have a few more days. And I also, as we go into June, I hope that your June and your summer is great. Like, I'm hoping for everyone to have a safe, memorable summer full of prosperity and kindness and good memories. Thank you, Luna. Thank you, Lissa. And Quana, thank you for sending me the information in advance. Bye, y'all. I will catch y'all next time.